40 floors up, behind a locked door and a security system worth more than your house. A billionaire is dead in his armchair. The first responders barely broke stride. Grey face, bad heart, sign the paperwork, zip the bag. This is you, Isabella Reyes, homicide. And you are staring at the 30-year single malt still warm in his dead hand. Because Alistair Finch drank whisky only on Tuesdays. Tonight is Thursday. Someone poured this for him. Someone watched him die. And he is the third heart attack this year that only you refuse to believe. So, before the coroner zips that bag, who killed Alistair Finch? You have spent 14 years in homicide reading people the way other detectives read files. And you have one rule that has never once failed you. People don't die out of character. A man of ruthless habit does not break a 30-year ritual on the last night of his life. Not unless someone rewrote the ending for him. Everyone else in this room sees a sad old man and a glass of scotch. You see a stage. And somebody dressed it. Alistair Finch, 68. Biotech, old money made new, the kind of rich that owns the hospital your mother died in. For 2 years, Finch had been chasing the one thing his money could not buy. More time. A serum. They called it Lazarus, a drug he swore could add 30 years to a human life. If it were real, it would be worth more than oil. Every powerful person in this city wanted a piece of it. And tonight, one of them took the whole thing. His penthouse, 40 floors up, one private elevator. No forced entry, no struggle, no alarm. Just Finch in his favorite chair and a face gone slack and grey. A sealed box in the sky with exactly one dead man inside it. Which means whoever did this was invited in. Rode up in the only elevator, and walked back out, smiling at the camera. So you do what you always do. You walk the room slowly, and you let it talk. 3 things do not belong. 1, a second glass on the bar cart, clean, upside down, still faintly warm from the tap. Someone washed it, dried it, and set it back. 2, a single long dark hair caught on the neck of the whisky decanter. Finch was silver and balding and lived alone. 3, under the leather and the scotch, the faint ghost of jasmine, perfume. In the home of a man who forbade anyone to wear a scent near him. A washed glass, a dark hair, a breath of jasmine. Remember all 3. You are going to need them. You take what you have to the one man who knows what a badge never can. Elias Vance, a broker of secrets who works the darkest corners of Veridia, a friend if a man like that has friends. He listens to the whole scene, the wrong night whisky, the washed glass, the jasmine, and he does not blink. That is not a burglar, detective, he says softly. That is a professional. Go looking for a poison that is not in your books, something bespoke. Vance is never wrong. One day you really should ask yourself how. Tonight, you just say thank you. So you push the lab. Dr. Aris Thorne, forensic pathologist, cheerful in a way that unsettles the living. He works the body through the night and calls you at 4 in the morning, breathless. Izzy. His blood is full of a peptide. Synthetic. Bespoke. It mimics your own stress hormones, floods the heart, stops it clean. So it looks like a heart attack. It looks like one, it feels like one. But this molecule does not exist in any database on Earth. And there is a needle mark behind his knee you would never find, unless you knew to look for it. And the whiskey in his hand. Clean Izzy, not a drop of poison in it. He never even drank it. Exactly what Vance said. 2 whole days before your own lab could prove it. You ask the question that has been rotting in your gut for 3 months. The judge who died at his desk, the union boss who died in his sleep, run their samples again. 2 days later, Thorne calls back, and the cheer is gone from his voice. Faint traces, the same signature, in all three. 3 impossible heart attacks, 1 invisible hand. You were right, and being right has never felt worse. A weapon like this costs a fortune, which means someone with a fortune paid for it. So you do what you always do. You follow the money back into the room. 5 people had access to Alistair Finch in his final week. 5 people who all grow richer. The second his heart stops. One of them let a killer into a sealed box in the sky. Let's take their chairs. One at a time. Suspect 1, Marcus Finch. The younger brother, the business partner, the man who spent 40 years standing just behind the throne. There is a buyout clause. If Alistair dies, Marcus takes control of the company. On paper, that is $4 billion and a lifetime of resentment. Motive gift-wrapped. Marcus is your first and your favorite suspect. Hold that thought. Suspect 2, Celeste, the daughter. Late 20s, expensive, furious. Because that very morning, the last morning of his life, Alistair phoned his lawyer and cut her out of the will. Every Thursday she called him. This Thursday she was never going to get the chance. A daughter disinherited by breakfast. A father dead by midnight. The newspapers would adore her. Keep her close. Suspect 3, Carl Doyle, head of security. The only man with the codes to that private elevator. Nobody reaches the 40th floor unless Carl says so. Which means whoever killed Finch walked right past Carl to do it. Either he is the worst bodyguard in the city, or he opened the door on purpose. Remember the door. Suspect 4, Dr. Evelyn Reed. Finch's protégé, the co-inventor of Lazarus, the only other mind that holds the formula. With Finch gone, the serum and the fortune it promises belongs to her. And it was Evelyn who poured his drinks. Evelyn who knew his rituals. Evelyn whose prints are all over that bar cart. A brilliant biologist, starved of money, begging Finch for years for the funding to reach the high-security labs where the real synthetic work gets done. Remember that too. If this were a lesser detective's case, it would already be closed. On her. And suspect 5, the quiet one, the night nurse, hired that same week to give Finch his evening injections, a gentle woman in a soft cardigan with a warm, tired smile. Sister Agnes. She was the last person scheduled to see him alive. Everyone describes her exactly the same way, kind, forgettable. Nobody in this whole investigation gives her a second thought. Not even you. Not yet. The city wants a tidy ending. A stressed old man, a bad heart, a glass of scotch. Close the file. But tidy endings are exactly where killers hide. 4 of these 5 wanted something from Alistair Finch. So the trick is not finding who wanted him dead. It is finding the one who did not need him alive. Start knocking the chairs over. Marcus, the brother, the buyout. Except you read the clause all the way to the last line. The buyout only triggers after next month's board vote. Alistair dying now does not hand Marcus the company. It freezes every share in probate for a year. Lawyers eat the estate alive. Marcus did not need his brother dead. He needed him alive for 30 more days. Killing him now costs Marcus everything. Cleared. Celeste, the disinherited daughter. A motive like a bonfire. But a cut can be contested within a week. A dead father she can fight is worth more to her than a living one who despised her. And there is the harder fact. At the hour her father died, Celeste was 30,000 feet over the Atlantic. A boarding pass, a passenger manifest, 200 witnesses in economy. You can hate your father from an airplane. You cannot stop his heart from one. Cleared. Carl, the bodyguard, the door. You pull the elevator logs, expecting a hole. There isn't one. One authorized entry that night, badged, scheduled, on the calendar for weeks. The night nurse, her rounds. Carl did not fail. Carl followed the rules. Exactly. He let in the one visitor everyone agreed was safe. Cleared. But watch what he leaves behind on his way out of the frame. A badge, a schedule, a nurse. And Evelyn Reed, your gift-wrapped suspect. The fingerprints, the fortune, the formula. But two facts clear her. One, Lazarus needs both signatures, his and hers, to patent. Dead, Finch locks the whole fortune away for a decade. She needed him alive more than anyone alive. Two, remember her problem. She could never get near a high-security lab. And that peptide came from exactly the kind of lab she spent years begging to enter. Evelyn could poison a man. She could not invent a heart attack. Cleared. So stop. Look at what you have. 4 people who grow richer with Alistair Finch in the ground, and every single one of them needed him breathing. The brother for 30 more days. The daughter from a plane. The bodyguard who did his job. The protégé who needed his name beside hers. 4 chairs, 4 alibis. And back in that sealed room, a washed second glass, a long dark hair, a breath of jasmine. You have seen everything I have. So, who poured Alistair Finch his last drink? So you go back to the one chair nobody looked at twice. The nurse. And every clue you flagged clicks into place. The nursing agency has no Sister Agnes on its roster. The badge was cloned, the references forged. She existed for exactly 1 week, the last week Alistair Finch had left. The long dark hair on the decanter, it belongs to a wig, a disguise. The jasmine, hers, the one human thing she could not scrub away. The whisky staged in his dead hand, Tuesday's ritual poured on a Thursday. And that second glass washed and set back, a visitor wiping herself out of the room. Kind, forgettable, and completely invented. Here is how you kill a creature of habit. You do not break the habit. You do not even need him awake for the worst of it. She arrives for the scheduled evening injection, trusted, badged, invisible. She gives him his ordinary medicine in his arm, right there on the chart, and his guard drops. Then, while she checks him over, a second needle, thin as a whisper, slips in behind his knee. A poison that does not exist. In the one place no one ever thinks to look. His heart attacks. Then calmly she builds the lie. She pours his finest whisky and folds his dead hand around the glass. A rich man, unwinding, gone gently in his chair. But she is a temp of 3 days. She does not know the ritual. She pours Tuesday's whisky on a Thursday night. One arrogant little mistake. Then she wipes her glass, sets it back, and rides the elevator down past a bodyguard who nods at a nurse. This was never rage, never grief. It was a service, rendered, paid in full. She has a name in the places you are not supposed to go. The Serpent. A professional who kills with chemistry and disguise and never wears the same face twice. So you bait her with the only thing her employer still wants, Finch's formula, and she comes for it, down at the docks, in a coat the color of a moonless night. The warm, tired nurse is gone. What steps out of the black car is beautiful, and cold, and amused. Right up until the cuffs close. You caught the hand that poured the whisky. You have not caught the one that paid for it. And now the cruelest part of the whole case. With the serpent in a cell, you finally open Finch's private files. Lazarus, the serum worth more than oil. The one everybody circled like wolves. His last entry dated the week he died. The trials fail at month 9, the subjects decline. Lazarus does not work. It never did. A fortune that was never there. The brother, the daughter, the protégé, they tore each other apart over a miracle that was a lie. The money seat was empty the whole time. It always is, which leaves the question that keeps you awake. If Lazarus was worthless, why would anyone pay a king's ransom to silence Alistair Finch? And a judge, and a union boss. 3 people with nothing in common, except that each of them, you realize now, had learned something. Something worth far more than a serum. Nobody is protecting a fortune. Someone is buying silence. Buy the body, and one face is left. The man who pointed you at a professional before your own lab knew a thing. Elias Vance, your friend in the dark. Go back to that night. Vance named the poison a bespoke peptide, 2 full days before Thorne could prove it existed. You told yourself he was just good. But a man cannot describe a weapon that does not exist, unless he already knew it had been used. He did not hand you a clue. He handed you a target. 1 finger of a hand, turning your eyes away from the other 4. So you shake his hand. You thank him for the favor. And behind that easy smile, the symphony you still cannot quite hear plays on. 4 impossible heart attacks, 1 caught assassin, and a hand still out there, missing 4 fingers. You do not have its name yet, but you have started to see the shape of it. The obsidian hand. This is the money seat, where the fortune is the motive, and the natural causes never are. Take the next chair. Come back. Someone is still conducting.